we can build this chassis now by ourselves as a brand new chassis, and there is no need to start from any other car.
Yeah, so you can build as many of these as you want.
Sure,
basically, yeah.
But we can just bring in all the features that we want, and we don't have to make any compromises.
Yes.
With carryover parts. So this is our car.
An integrated roll cage here, of course.
Exactly.
Been invited by Alois and his wife Estonia, also here of course today, to host this press conference on their behalf and that of their team. Now I'm sure that knowing you're all extremely specialized motoring journalists here today, I'm sure you're familiar with the Ruf story, but as we have 15 minutes at our disposal, I thought it was worth delving into the past of Ruf a little bit to explain what we have before us in the center of the stand today and where the Ruf story started and how we came to this point. Now, I'm sure it won't have escaped you that almost hidden away in a corner of the stand is where it all started. And if I can ask you, Alois, to describe what this car means to you, because this is really the genesis of the Ruf legend.
Thank you, Simon, for the nice introduction. Thank you very much. It's very nice to have you here today. The man who is a rare connoisseur, who knows all the cars in the world very, very well. Now, what we are looking here is 901, chassis number 27. So this car started in Earl's Court, London, at the motor show in 1964. And somebody fell in love with this crazy-looking, completely new Porsche at that time, after the era of 356, or I have to say, still the era after 356. And that gentleman bought the car on the stand and he said, I'm not leaving before I will get this car and get the confirmation. So I'm saying this because this was the very, very beginning, and for me as a 14-year-old, so now you can make the math, in 1964 I had this event that a 901 prototype was flying by me on the German Autobahn. And my father and I, we were driving in a car and we started shaking because of the wind when the 901 flew by. And I heard that sound, it gave me shivers and goosebumps, and they come back again and again all my life.
So you weren't the man that wrote the check as a 14-year-old on that stand at the London Motor Show?
I wish I could have. No, it was another gentleman. I was only dreaming about this new car and I couldn't wait until I could put myself sit in such a car. That happened a year later, 1965. Now,
your family, Alois, was already, if I can just fill in for the gaps for those that don't know, your family was already heavily involved in the maintenance of Porsche sports cars, so you had grown up surrounded by such cars.
This has started in 1963. It was just a year before when the first Porsche came into our premises. My father worked on it, and I, as a teenager, was happy that I could also turn the screws under the direction of my father. And that was the beginning. This is when the virus caught me, and I keep passing it on to the others. We're still doing that, so be careful. You might catch a virus here. Okay.
So what then took you from looking after cars like that to deciding to put your own slant on such a car and becoming a manufacturer? And that's important to stress, I think, for Ruf, because as we know, various people have tried their hands at tuning Porsches, but you're unusual in that you're actually a bona fide manufacturer. What was it that made you decide to do that?
You know, what happened was in the 60s we started specializing on repairing and maintaining Porsches. And we made a name for that, and Porsche was of course a much smaller company than it was today. So that was at the time when a Porsche driver saw another Porsche driver, he would stop and go for a coffee or for a chit chat, flash the lights of course, and so that was a different era. And in the 70s, in the early 70s, I already built the first cars that were special and bespoke, based on the 911. And then there was sort of a last call for the 911, and the 911 was supposed to be stopped in the late 70s, and that gave us an incredible uplift without knowing it, and I sort of stumbled into something that was not really intended, but it just happened. We became a car manufacturer and we were building cars on our own. Now all of this has happened because we had these crazy people who love that car, and they were fearing that the car would be discontinued. And they said, could you build me another car in 5 years if you buy a body in white now and buy all the parts so you can assemble another car for me? When I heard requests like that, I knew that there was a demand that this car would continue to live. And today, we know it's immortal. And this is where we are now in our story. And when we go to the 1987 Yellowbird CTR over there, the name CTR stands for Group C Turbo Roof. I want you to understand that at that time, Porsches were driven in Le Mans with twin turbo cars, but there was no production car with a twin turbo engine. And we were inspired by that engine that was controlled by a Bosch Motronic engine management system, which was not available for the street cars. So we said, let's build a similar engine like this Group C engine and put it in a street car. And that was the outcome. And in April of 1987, we did a top speed of 338.9 kilometers, or let's call it 339, or 211 miles per hour, which was a very, very big event. This was organized by Road and Track. This was World's Fastest Cars, Volume 2. And it put us...
Why yellow? Why was it yellow?
Oh, that's another story. It was a terrible day in northern Germany in Era Lessine at the high-speed circuit of Volkswagen. And it was terrible weather condition, raining, black sky. And the photographers were very unhappy because most of the cars that were presented were in dark colors. There was only one car that was really shining and sticking out from the crowd of cars. And it was our yellow car. So the photographers were playing with the editors and they were sort of joking around. Suddenly they came up with the name Yellowbird. And that name Yellowbird is today a synonym of our CTR, which we had a very technical name to start with. And we have built 29 cars of the Yellowbird, or CTR. And at the same time we became a mass producer in the Sony PlayStation video game. And they sold over 20 million of those. And we're very proud to say that we have people coming here to the stand ordering our new car, and they learned about the car through the PlayStation as kids.
Let's hope they don't order 20 million.
I don't think so.
So that's the beginning of the story, if you will. 30 years ago,
yes.
The original, what the press dubbed the yellow bird,
exactly.
Its colour.
Yes.
I thought you were going to tell me that you'd actually painted it that morning when you saw the weather forecast and it was silver before.
No.
So that was the car that broke all the records. Despite looking relatively sober, understated it, calling that it had otherworldly performance.
Exactly.
Almost a Group C car. We then fast forward, 10 years?
10 years later, we continued.
Imaginatively titled CTR2.
CTR2 happened, when you see the silver car, the design that was more like the 90s design, and we were more courageous to make styling changes, like the rear wing, which had a double function because it had an air intake for the combustion air, and it had the air intake for the cooling air. And we had the first integrated roll cage, and our signature is always the body without a rain gutter, as you can see.
So seamless body,
it's a seamless body, yes, that's correct.
And that's based on the 993.
That's based on the 993, yes. This was the last air-cooled.
And how many of these were built?
Also 29 cars.
You obviously like the number 29.
It seems to be, but later we come to 30. I will tell you.
So we're veering into the territory of mass production. And then we fast forward a few more years, and we get something even more, in fact, much more extreme.
This is the CTR3. And the CTR3 was a car that was a complete new era of a CTR. It was a mid-engine car based on a 997 front end because of the crash structure. And the whole rear and center of the car was our own chassis structure, and the whole silhouette of the car and design is new, as you can see.
But this looks like it's mid-engined rather than rear-engined. Is that fair?
This is a car that follows the scheme of a Le Mans racer.
This is probably, was this at the time, I presume it was the most extreme car that you had made?
Until today, still is. Because it's its own silhouette and very racy DNA, as you can see.
And you're going to tell me there are 30 of these made?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We are now at 27.
3 left, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. If you have your checkbooks, this might be your lucky day. And then, of course, taking us firmly into the 21st century, we have the heir to the original Yellowbird, the 2017 CTR, which is the car we see in front of us here today.
The 2017 CTR is following the footsteps of the original CTR, and it's a complete new interpretation because it is a complete new chassis. The center of the chassis is a carbon fiber tub. It uses a front and a rear frame structure in lightweight steel that is holding all the suspension pieces. Double wishbones, the front and rear, push rods connected to horizontal shock absorbers, transfers mounted in the back and the longitudinally mounted in the front. The front and the rear is connected with a steel roll cage, which is integrated, which is our style. And you may see when you look closely that there are a few design elements that round up the car that you do not notice, or you don't notice in a negative way, that the wheel base has been prolonged by 70 millimeters. So we have a enlarged wheelbase by 70 millimeters for better straight-on performances.
Yes. The overall length of the car is the same, isn't it?
Same length, same dimensions, same glass house. But
we have a longer wheelbase, but obviously short overhangs. And am I right in thinking that the body is a little bit wider in the middle? Just very, very subtly?
Here, when you see here the shape of the door, you notice that the car went to the gym and it got stronger muscles. And at the same time, this is minimizing the feeling of the fender flares so they don't look so pronounced, which is enhancing the aerodynamics, the flow of air, and also for the looks of the car. The door got 2 centimeters longer, so the proportions are right again and looks homogeneous. You know, this is what our goal was.
And carbon fiber plays a huge part in this car, doesn't it?
Well, you can see the top of the car, which is carbon fiber. The skin of the car is carbon fiber, and we are using modern, I almost said in French, the lighting system. And needless to say, about these suspension pieces are like straight coming from a race car, from a Le Mans car, you know, as well as the brakes with the ceramic brakes. And
I love the way that the suspension is completely visible in the rear.
Yeah, this is for the show car, of course.
Might be a somewhat noisy solution for getting around every day, but it looks fantastic.
Not recommendable for the street car, of course.
And this, am I right in thinking this is your first proprietary chassis, the complete chassis?
Yes, it's the very first proprietary chassis.
And tell us a little bit, Alois, about the performance of this car, because although it obviously takes visual cues from the original Yellowbird of 30 years ago, the Yellowbird driver from 30 years ago would be pretty surprised by the performance that you managed to extract from this car today, would he or she not?
Well, probably most of you know the movie of Nürburgring with our Yellowbird. There was a lot of sideway driving, and you had to be a real dancer with the car.
Wild Stefan Rosa, wasn't it?
Wild Stefan Rosa, yes.
The nutter.
Yeah, exactly, the Mr. White Sox. And what we wanted to achieve with the new car is that we have a very reliable suspension that is where the car and you become one, and you don't have to be a sideway driver in order to control the car. And this is why we went all the 9 yards for this here.
Tell us about the performance stats in pure, simple numbers.
We're talking of 710 horsepower and 1,200 kilos of weight, so we're at 1.6 kilos per horsepower. So that is a car, I call it, it's not a car that you drive, you're wearing it. You're wearing it like a piece of clothes, I think.
Like a tailor-made suit.
Yeah, like a
very yellow tailor-made suit with a loud check lining.
Exactly.
And the top speed of this?
360 kilometers. It will be the top speed of the car, and I show you another couple of small details, like the air intake for the intercoolers, as well as the combustion air intake, which is hidden here in the rear window.
Nice detailing. And I hate to be too commercial, but you know it's in my nature. How much do I have to make the checkout for one of these?
750,000 euros.
Plus plus local taxes, undoubtedly.
There will be local taxes depending where you live.
But if I can follow on from that, I obviously follow these things. I know that the original yellowbirds over the decades, particularly over the last 10 years, have built up an incredible following, and even they command now significant sums of money. Do you remember how much those cars were when they were new? How much they cost new, the original?
288,000 Deutschmarks.
288 Deutschmarks is about 100,000 pounds, about 100, well, it might be soon 140,000 in euros soon, but it's about 120,000 euros.
Yeah.
And those cars sell for a multiple of that now.
Now for a million euros.
So who knows, in 30 years' time, if we'll be back on this stand again, with a few more grey hairs, saying, can you remember the days when you could buy one of these for just 750,000 euros?
It's a deal.
You said it first.
Okay.
It's interesting, isn't it? This sort of car has become very much of the moment in recent years.
Right.
And people are now looking for greater simplicity, less technology often, and enhanced driving experience. And something which, when they're spending a large amount of money, is tailor-made to what they want, rather than what the marketing men tell them they should have. And presumably, within reason, each of these cars can be tailored very much to the way that each one of your clients wants it to be.
Yes. Okay, the yellow color is not a must, you know, because I have been asked if every car
I
has to
wasn't
be
being
yellow.
rude about the yellow color, by the way.
Okay. All right. I would like now to ask our staff who built the car to come here to the carousel. Come here.
I think a photograph with all of them would be... Wouldn't it be good to get a photograph with all of them?
Sure. And the engineers from the engineering company Vela, please come. And lovely wife, Estonia. Because we had to live all of this 24 hours, you know. So it was a...
Well, she's still smiling, so she obviously likes the result.
I kissed her already this morning for being supportive of this measure.
Tim, it's rather like something built by the family rather than a large factory, isn't it?
This is a family
business.
It's a family business, definitely. Yes. It's a family affair. Yeah.
I think that's great. You know, so many cars these days are made by faceless corporations, and to actually be able to shake the hand of the men and women who have built your car is something from another time.
All right. Thank you.
Great.
Come, Simon. Come here.
I'm going to spoil the photograph. We're about to go mobile if we can switch the turntable on. How many car companies could fit all the people who built the car they're showing onto one turntable? That's pretty impressive. That's what they call an elite team, a crack team. I feel like we're at the fairground.
On the carousel.
Or the catwalk.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving us the attention and the support. Which makes us feel very, very good. And it's a great reward for us. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Estonia, hello, it's always an absolute pleasure.
Okay.